The Salton Sea is one of the world's present-day mysteries. Not quite an accidental sea, it came to exist in 1905 as a result of the flooding of the Colorado River. Located about an hour's drive from Palm Springs in California, the Salton Sea is truly an enigma and is at the center of ongoing controversy about whether to let nature take its course and dry it up, or whether to implement a massive strategy to fix the problems. How I came to discover the Salton Sea was, I found myself in Coachella Valley, and I'm a kayaker, so I wanted to find a place to kayak. And when I looked around, the Salton Sea was right there. And I would tell my friends, I'm going to go kayaking at the Salton Sea, and they'd say, oh no, you don't want to go there, it's disgusting. So I didn't go. But one day I saw a little ad in the LA Times that said, kayaking tours at the Salton Sea. So I took a notion to call that number, and the man that answered the phone said, my wife and I have been here for 9 years and we wouldn't go anywhere else. He said, please don't listen to everything you hear, come and see it for yourself. And so I did. A popular North Shore entrance point brings you to the Salton Sea Recreation Area. A comprehensive visitor center there is a great place to pick up information about the sea and current environmental factors such as the type of birds you can expect to see. An 8-minute-long video explains the origins and concerns, and amenities in the park include historical artifacts and modern public restroom facilities. There's a lot of space for camping, and a well-stocked tuck shop rents kayaks for those that want to take a spin on the lake. I spoke to Connie Brooks, a volunteer who runs the sports shop.
I think the solution is actually pretty simple for the concept. We need more water coming in, and we need water being pumped out. And that way, the more water will keep the level of the sea up, and being pumped out, it will help the water circulate and become less saline. And I think it's going to take a lot of private sector money raised to get this done, a lot of money. But it will be so worth it when it's done. We have the most fabulous ecosystem here. And if people will just come here and learn why the fish die, and why the sea turns brown, and why the sea turns bright green, and understand the natural beauty of this place, that it's not this horrible, yucky place to be. Mother Nature isn't always beautiful. She has her yucky moments. This is an incredible place, a lot to learn here, a lot to experience, and people need to come out here and see this. And when they do, they'll fall in love with it. And then they can help us stand up and say, hey, it's time, please let's get this done. This is so worth it. This is an incredible place.
It's a birdwatcher's paradise, and you're sure to encounter quite a few on your kayak outing. However, because of the billions of dollars necessary to fix the sea, and because there isn't unanimous agreement on exactly what should be done, it remains on a steady trajectory towards disappearing. After all, over the course of history, bodies of water like this one have come and gone. But there are many compelling reasons why, in this case, letting nature take her course would be a very bad idea. The Salton Sea is California's largest inland body of water. It's interesting how a 35 by 15 mile lake could have been created from the flooding of a river. But since it's here, and since it has become home to some 400 species of birds and 3 species of fish, it's important to implement a way to protect and preserve it. To think that prior to 1985, this park had more visitors than Yosemite National Park. I spoke with Bill Meister, president of the Sea and Desert Interpretive Association.
I think most tourists would be quite surprised to find a body of water this size in the desert. And it's such a beautiful place. People often associate it with some negative aspects, but once they get here, they're quite surprised to see how vast it is and how beautiful it is, and the variety of animals and the things that can be done here. We have kayaking programs, we have bird walks, we have over 400 species of birds for people who are interested. This is one of the major stops on the Pacific Flyway. It's a place where you can camp, you can fish, you can boat, water ski. Best time to come is between October and May. That would really be considered our best season. If you want to see birds, if you want to see the wildlife, the wintertime is the best time to come. We have millions of birds. It's one of the last wetland areas that exists in California for these birds, and without it, the birds would suffer and the whole ecology of the area would suffer. People often will say that the sea is smelly. Well, basically what you're smelling is life. You have a very nutrient-rich body of water. There's anywhere, depending upon who you talk to, 200 to 400 million tilapia within the Salton Sea. The shoreline is covered with the shells of barnacles. They came in during the Second World War on float planes, and they've thrived here because they have no natural predators. We also have some fish bones mixed in from the sea where the fish die off.
Hey, the colors look pretty dark.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. You get a lot of, here we have a dark green algae that's blooming here. You see some brown out there, which would be a brown algae, and then there's a red algae as well.
This lake is in danger of running dry, and if it does, it's going to increase the amount of dust in the area by 1/3 of what it is right now. And this in an area that's already burdened by a high incidence of asthma.
If nothing is done, what's going to happen is that the waters are going to continue to recede. Already we have less water coming into the Salton Sea than evaporates each year. We get an evaporation rate of about 5 to 6 feet of water a year. And incoming water from off the farms and through the Colorado River and from the Whitewater River and the New and Alamo rivers isn't quite enough to make up that difference. And so we probably have a net loss of about 8 to 12 inches of water a year. And with that continuing, what was going to happen is that the shorelines will continue to be more and more exposed. And the 100 years worth of decayed material that sits on the bottom of the sea will become exposed. And the winds will pick it up and blow it throughout the Imperial Valley and the Coachella Valley and even into the Los Angeles Basin. Last summer we kind of got a little bit of a hint about what people are going to smell, much less what they're going to be breathing if something isn't done about it. So you're talking about major health hazards. You're talking about the crippling of the agricultural industry, which is over $1 billion a year, about $1.5 billion industry that encompasses both the Imperial Valley and the Coachella Valley. Loss of those industries, the loss of the tourism into the area, the unhealthy air is going to affect people's ability to be able to come to this area, and that includes Palm Springs, Palm Desert, all the places that people like to come and vacation. So leaving it alone is not an option.
Visitors have been staying away from it for fear of becoming sick. What was once a thriving resort area is now largely abandoned. A display has recently opened at the Lakita Museum, recounting the origins and celebrity the Salton Sea once enjoyed. Photos depict the glory days when stars like Frank Sinatra came to visit, and miscellaneous pieces speak of the fun that was had. Images show farmers doing their part to help. A topographical map gives an excellent overview, and photos show how nature is adjusting herself to coping with the accidental sea.
You don't want it to go down in history as been something that could have been fixed and wasn't fixed, something that could have been a treasure, but was left to be an eyesore.
Just as I was invited to come and see for myself, this segment is to encourage viewers to come and enjoy one of nature's amazing places.